Like 99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Just making sure that the little things are taken care of, like getting our cleats in the dirt and just playing.
What we have to do is make sure that we got our cleats in the ground before the ball is snapped. I think that's the key to the game, and make sure that
just get our cleats in the ground, execute calls, the urgency of communicating and getting lined up.
Yeah, you got to get your cleats in the ground and you got to go play.
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay.
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blowers.
Good.
It's here it's Tennessee, so we're gonna get the best guys here. That's just every year. Every time we're out there, it's competition. Nobody has a spot, nobody's comfortable. We're all working.
Do you remember when we fell in love? I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it before. I can feel it again. I can feel it coming in the air now. I can feel it in hands. I can feel it in jump. I can feel it coming in the air now. Remember the time we fell in love. You remember the time. How could I ever forget? You remember the time we fell in love. You remember the time. How could I ever forget? Coming in the air now. We fell in love. You remember? Coming in the air now. Our first time, we our best time. It turned into nighttime. I'm sipping on a fine wine, shining like the skyline. Wish I could rewind time and replay it in my mind. Replay it in my mind. Oh, they'll never know this love and how it feels. I never thought love at first sight could feel so real. You brought emotions out I couldn't feel.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Balls JP. What's up?
What's going on, buddy? Dude, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since an old VAWLS JP and Boogie live stream, man. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to talk some spring practice, spring scrimmage. Scrimmage number 1 is in the books. We also got a special guest coming up here in just a minute. A buddy old JP's coaches some high school football in the state of Tennessee. Had an opportunity to go take in the scrimmage. Look, it's locked down to the media, locked down to fans, but they had a coaches clinic going on, and old Coach T. We got Coach J, we got Coach T. I don't know what it is, but we're going to have him come on here in just a few minutes and give us a brief little rundown of what he saw. And then JP and I are going to run down the show, have a good time as always. We're going to hit the chat here in just a second. I just want to give a shout out to some members, man. Some members of the channel. A lot of you guys renewing your membership after they expired. Tim Bradley back in the boat. Jason Eagleson renewed his membership. Wayne Williamson rejoined the channel. Kenneth Harris became a new member. Appreciate that. Robbie S. rejoined. Jimmy Campbell renewed that membership. Dexter Wilson became a member. Nick Worley, Dustin Partain, Charles Swanton. I just want to thank you guys. The memberships expire. Some people forget. A lot of you guys renewing them, so I appreciate that. We got some early arrivals in the chat. Shane Taylor was here at 7:30. At 7:30, waiting on us to get going. Sam Hyatt is in the house. What's up, Sam? Elijah, the kid Allen is here. David Speaks. Crystal Free, Kelly Goodwin, Tyler Pollock, all coming on in. Seth DeFore is here. It's been a long day without you, my friend. Well, I've been right here waiting on you guys to show up. Nugs is in the house. What is up, Nugs? Let's see. We got a couple of Boom Boom Room entry fees. Seth DeFore for $5. JP is here.
That's
boom,
mine,
boom,
Boogie.
boom. Oh,
that $4.99 is mine.
I didn't hear him say that. He just said that you're here. And then you see he got to pay to get into the boom boom room, which is my office. So it's an entry fee. We appreciate those super chats, those entry fees. David Franklin for $5 says screw Florida. Well, you hate Florida, JP. Is that yours too?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's mine. Yeah.
And then Wayne for $5 doesn't say anything.
He didn't say anything at all.
You want to fill in the blank? Does that say this is for JP? Is that what it's supposed to say?
That's what it says. Yeah.
Hey, look,
maybe
Go
that's
ahead.
for Coach T.
Oh no! Don't start that. Don't let him know that you can claim super chats around here. Look, it's a new month, so we got a new leaderboard. Let's see. Man, I'm messing it up right out of the gate. I'll fix the leaderboard in just a second. Lee Honda Hilt for $5. Thank you for that. Says Dorothy plus Fuga. Yeah, we're gonna sell a Fuga shirt coming up real soon. Guys, come on in, smash the thumbs up. Appreciate you guys being here, breaking down spring scrimmage number 1. Let's get our special guest on here. Again, Coaches High School Football doesn't have the big professional podcast setup, so he's just gonna jump on for a couple of minutes. Coach T, appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
So you had an opportunity to go down to the coaches clinic. You got to take in scrimmage number 1. Just unpack kind of what you saw today. The good, the bad, the ugly. Don't hold back.
A lot of good things going on. I mean, you can tell there's a lot of energy around the program. Heupel's definitely in control. There's no doubt that whether it be the staff or whether it be the kids, they all believe, of course, and I guess coming off of a season like they had, that's easy to do. But there's just a lot of energy within Neyland. So, that's some of the good things. Defense was playing fast. The defensive line was incredible as far as technique. They were quick off the line of scrimmage. I mean, the defense certainly won the scrimmage today in my assessment, and which is not uncommon at this time. A lot of things we actually had an opportunity to talk with a couple of the players, asking them how they felt. And they said, this folks finding their role, young guys finding their role. And I think that's certainly something that's coming from the offensive side, and we've seen that. But the defense definitely won the day, and the D-line position group for sure was the winner of the day. When we're talking about the offense, you're really looking, everybody's wondering about number 7. What's number 7 going to do? What's he, who's he going to be? Who's he going to be for a season? And we kind of need him to be that guy. Today, he didn't look like that guy. It was, and it wasn't just, wasn't the overthrow balls that we've seen from time to time. It was just inaccurate and really delayed in his decision making. Of course, he's wearing the non-contact jersey, so anytime they got in the vicinity of him, they called the play dead. But there was times that the play really, it developed, but then his decision making to where to go with the ball was usually throwing a contested ball. Now you could say, well, is that because they weren't getting separation? There was separation, but not where he was choosing to go with the ball, I'll say. So, and so a couple of good plays. A play to Jake Warren that in the middle of the field was an excellent decision, excellent throw. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and do this. All right, for your fan base, for both of you guys' fan base, I'm going to do this. 12 looked like the guy. 7 did not look like the guy.
Oh no.
And I understand that 12 was running with the 2s, also running with the 2s on defense. I get that very much. But there's something special about 12.
Ooh. That's a good thing, though, right? I mean, we want to see Nico succeed. How much, though, Coach T, and again, we're speculating because even the media that's putting out some of these reports, that they weren't there. So, there's some high school coaches that are on the message boards. They were kind of putting their feedback in there. But, you look at the offensive line. A lot of guys banged up. Cooper Mays out today. Brew McCoy out for the spring. Jabari Small, Dante Thornton. The ones on offense kind of limited with what they had out there. But what you're saying, I just want to get it right so we can get the message board rumors and the hype and the buzz and give me something to talk about from now until the fall. It wasn't a matter of protection. It was a matter of decision-making and accuracy from 7.
I'm telling you that in non-live drills, 12's accuracy was marginally better than 7's. At this stage, I'm talking about out routes, go routes, deep posts, whatever you want to talk about. For the most part, 12's accuracy was marginally better than 7's.
JP, are you excited?
I mean, I am, but like I told Coach T earlier today on a text message when he was texting me this stuff. I mean, I'm rooting for Joe Milton because Joe Milton is essentially a 5th-year senior, and at the bottom line, you would think that he would be way more advanced than Nico is as far as this offense goes. This is his 3rd year within the system, so. I understand what Coach T's saying there, and yes, the accuracy and the decision making is the biggest thing with Milton. When there is live, defense out there that's coming after you, and there's pressure that's coming on. Can he make those right decisions and get rid of that football? And I think that. We talk about this offense and we talk about this offensive line, and I'm telling you, Hendon Hooker made this offensive line better than what it was last year with his ability to escape, and Joe Milton doesn't have that. So, as far as he hasn't shown that. So, that's another thing with that. But, Coach T, do you think that perhaps maybe some of that inaccuracy with Milton had to do with some of the new guys? Was there any of the new freshmen, the early enrollees, that he was throwing to, or was this the receivers that we expect to be out there come fall?
7 ran mainly, Squirrel ran the slot. Webb was out there. He found his way on the field. I think that's 84. Let's see. And Keaton was out there as well. So JP, the assessment there is these weren't brand new guys.
Gotcha.
And like I said, there were guys that were getting separation in some of the schemes, but he was making decisions to throw elsewhere. I'll say it like that.
Yeah.
And and there again, going kind of back to what Boogie was talking about. You had Ollie Lane playing left guard, Addison Nichols playing center, Mincy playing right tackle. Huge gap left by Darnell Wright. So all of those things considered, with all of the returning players on the defensive line, I wasn't surprised to see that D-line position group shine. But when there was time to make a throw, there was time to make a decision, opportunities were there. 7 just didn't connect. And 12's first drive down the field was a touchdown throw to the tight end, number 34. I think he was a transfer maybe, but
is that Castles, maybe McAllen Castles?
Where is it? I had it here somewhere in my notes, and now it's all blending together. Let's see. All I see is that he threw a touchdown on the opening drive. Don't see who it was.
I think it was to Castles, perhaps, but that might have been something that I saw on BallQuest. But I've been busy today, so I haven't really kept up with a whole lot with it. I'll be honest with you. But
it was 34 playing that tight end position.
Yeah. Coach T, did the transfer from Miami, the Campbell guy, kid, was he playing any on the offensive line? I know that that was the expectation that they got him, that he was going to come in and basically fill that position that Darnell Wright's leaving. Which obviously I've been on record saying that he's not going to be a Darnell Wright type player, but serviceable, I guess. Do you know, Coach T, if he was playing or not today?
Did we lose Coach T?
dang it, we might have lost him.
Well, we're waiting to see if it might have been his internet. Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. The Lazy Llamas for $20. That ain't cheap. Says dropping an entry fee and a tip for Boogie and the crew. I guess he means people here in my house, not you, JP. Says excited about recent recruiting news and super excited for the upcoming season. GBO. I don't know how long JP wants to go. We may jump into some recruiting. We'll see. But thank you, Lazy Llamas, for the $20. That is not cheap. We appreciate it. Josh Johnson becomes a member of the channel. I appreciate that, Josh. Thank you for the support. You guys can hit that join button down below, or it's also pinned in the comments at the top of the live chat. You can join the channel, support what we're doing around here. We would appreciate it. Rolly Season for 2. What's up, y'all? Did I miss any Nico news yet? Yes, you did, Rolly Season. Sounds like Nico had himself a day. We're going to get back into it here in just a second, but this ain't cheap. Augusta, Georgia, Vol, Evan counts for $50. $50 is not cheap. You drop a 50 spot, we got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Evan counts for $50. Appreciate that, Evan. Very generous. Says just sending more hard-earned Georgia money to Tennessee. That's where all Georgia money belongs, is in the state of Tennessee. We appreciate that. Says Boogie, I'm proud of you, man. Thanks for all you do, brother. Thank you, Evan. That is very generous. Appreciate that, my man. Thank you for the super chat. It's a new month, so we'll get Evan up there on the leaderboard. Coach T, are you back? Can you hear us?
I don't know. I texted him. He didn't respond either.
Let me know if he responds to your text, if he bounces back in. If not, that's fine. Some of you guys in the chat were asking, who the heck is Coach T? Well, he's a friend of JP's. He coaches high school football. They had the coaches clinic down there in Knoxville. They were the only ones able to attend, so we thought it would be fun to get him on here. He ain't a podcaster. He's not a media guy. Look, he is doing a favor for myself and JP, is why he jumped on to talk about what he saw in the scrimmage. And it sounds like what he saw so far is that Joe Milton struggling early. Nico looked the part out there today. And look, we think we know what we've got in Nico, but ideally, obviously, we want to see Joe succeed. Nico have a year to learn the system and then, take over when the time is right. But let's kind of recycle and go back to the beginning, JP. Scrimmage number 1. It's spring camp, a lot of new faces. You got some guys beat up. Again, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Brew McCoy out for the spring. Dante Thornton still limited. Jabari Small out. The offensive line, again, left to right, was J.J. Crawford, Lane, Nichols, Spraggins, Mincy. That offensive line got whipped up front today, it sounds like. Defense won the day, good on good, 1s versus 1s, 2s versus 2s. Are you really concerned at this point, or you just kind of wait and see? Look, we got another scrimmage coming up next Thursday. Then we got the orange and white game on April the 15th. Then we got the summer workouts, and then we'll go into fall camp. That's when we start to get concerned. But what are your thoughts when you read all that so far?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to take any kind of huge concerns with it. I mean, obviously, the thing about Milton, we all know that it's the accuracy issues, the overthrows and those types of things with that. So, but, my biggest concern, obviously, is that they've got to figure out what they're going to do at the offensive tackle position. Whether that's going to be Mincy and Crawford, or that's why I was asking Coach T if Campbell was actually in there with the second team with that. But that's my much greater concern with that. But this first scrimmage, I don't think that obviously that that you can sit there and say, oh, that Milton had a bad day or so forth like that. I don't think that that's a reason to press any kind of panic buttons or so forth like that. And who knows, that this coaching staff could have said, hey, to Banks, throw the kitchen sink at us and let us see how that we were actually respond with this first scrimmage, with the offensive line and so forth like that.
Coach T, any other takeaways before we get you out of here that you want to give us, whether that be defensively, offensively, the twos, anything else you want to run down that you saw today?
Yeah, can you fellas hear me now?
Yeah, you're back. You're good now.
Yeah, sorry about that. So, I get it. It is early. It is early to see And I know, what everybody's going to say is, hey, it's early for 7, but I'm telling you the same things that we've kind of seen. They showed up. So takeaways from practice. The defense looks loose, looks fast, tons of energy on that side, on that sideline, right? Hot take right now is that defense is going to take a huge step forward this year in the SEC.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
41 is a player that I wanted to talk about, the transfer from BYU. Looked really, really quick as far as he played fast, especially for somebody that's new in that scenario. We didn't get to see Beasley today either. So lots of good things on the defensive side of the ball. I think there's a lot of question marks on the offensive side of the ball. We all know what the upside 7 can have. It's just, can he put it all together over the duration of a season?
What about Arian Carter? Did he stick out? I would imagine he was running with the 2s.
Nothing that I took a note on, Boogie. Nothing that I would be able to hang our hats on at all.
Was there
the chat saying the same thing? Arian Carter.
Was there any true freshman early enrollees, Boogie or Coach T, that did stand out to you?
Yeah, 12.
12? Wow. I'm telling you, Coach T's on that Nico train. Coach T is on the Nico train.
I feel like you set me up for this, JP.
Listen,
I feel like this is a complete.
Listen.
I've been bamboozled right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network.
No. Listen, y'all. I may or may not have shaken his hand. I'm just saying. And the look.
I do have a picture of that.
The look in
and I did say that I was jealous too.
Yeah, the look in this guy's eyes. This is a star. So in all reality, we hope 7 performs. We hope 7 is incredible this year. I don't want to see 12 have to take a meaningful snap this year. No joke.
Yeah. Coach T, and I asked you earlier this morning when you was texting me about it, but did you see any of our defensive backs actually turn around and actually look for the football today?
I'll say yes.
Oh, that is an improvement. That's an improvement, Boogie.
I'll say
that's
yes.
an improvement.
Number three took some snaps at the D-back, some meaningful snaps at the D-back position, and that speed was nice to see. I'll leave it at that.
That's D. Williams, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because the Australian punter, by the way, can kick with both legs.
That's what I saw that on the message board.
I was like, of all the things that you're putting on the message board, this is what you're giving us. Give us something else.
Hey,
Come on.
Yeah. He was trick kicking.
That's gonna be awesome.
He was the sideshow spectacle. I'm not kidding. It was amazing.
What about the secondary as a whole? What about like Wesley Walker, Danico Slaughter, Gabe Judy-Lally, the kid from BYU? Anybody else really stand out in the secondary? I think that's where they can take a step this year to get better. Linebacker, man, across the board, really. I think the defensive line can improve. Linebackers with Keenan Peely and Aaron Beasley, I think can be better than they were a year ago. But the secondary, I think is where we're all looking. Hey, let's just be a little bit better, and we're going to be efficient.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, to get an assessment of that would be difficult, especially with the pressure the D-line was getting. They were closing those windows, pretty quick. Now, they were running some extravagant stunts from time to time, which was, I think, confusing the offensive line. It may allude to the fact of what JP was talking about. Maybe that's what they wanted to do going into this, was show the new guys, hey, there's a lot to learn. But there was a lot of close windows. Milton tried to fit a lot of, top balls from time to time. That was an upside for the defensive backs, but there was also some opportunities out there that there's some guys got free for sure.
Anybody on the offensive side as far as the wide receivers go? What about Cam Seldon? Anything like that, Coach T?
11 with the transfer from Oregon. He certainly looks the part. When he was as far as running drills, he looked really good. 84.
That's Caleb
84.
Webb.
Okay, so we talked about him before, and then 83 took some meaningful reps as well, and he got loose on a go route. They said he stepped out of bounds, but man, if we had replay, I think it was 6. But But that's basically it, JP. Jacob Warren, had, like I told you, had some good plays, but the newer guys on the wide receiver front, they didn't get as many reps. They kind of went with their base, with the ones.
And I know that you talked about the defensive line has been, today was kind of dominant. Anything as far as James Pierce goes, and gosh, help me out. What's the other guy? I can't. Why can I not think of the other? Josephs. Yeah. Anything on them, because those are the two, in my opinion, that's got to take a huge step this fall.
Yeah, Joseph's looked really good, JP. Again, just a quick step. You can tell that he understands the system better going into this year. All of those guys played really fast.
Well, I know that
we spent a lot of time talking about Josephs today. Let's say that. A lot of time. He spent a lot of time in the backfield.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that you sent me that picture of you standing there with Pierce, and I mean, you're a pretty tall guy, and dang, that James Pierce is. What is he, Coach T? Is he like 6'5"? I mean,
Nico's 6'6", listed at 6'6", and he was taller. I mean, of course, this is all listed. He's every bit of 6'6" for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's what I was trying to figure out in that picture. I mean, I know that you sent me. I know that Nico was kind of standing back a little bit, but man, I mean, Pierce was like huge as far as.
He's listed as 6'5", 242. I think he's put on some weight too, hasn't he? I think
he has,
this offseason.
Yeah. He had that. He sent that. Coach T sent that picture. Yeah.
He's leaned out too. He's
Yeah.
really leaned out. Yeah. You can tell that he spent a lot of time there. So a coaching friend of mine that was down there with me, his fast take is that that kid is going to be the breakout kid this year.
I hope so, man. I'm telling you.
Pierce. Yeah. Pierce is going to be the breakout kid this year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so. I mean,
That's the buzz.
We all know that getting pressure on the quarterback is so key, because I mean, we see these offenses, and it's offense, run up and down the field and score. And if you can get pressure on that quarterback, I mean, just look at Georgia and Bama. I mean that is the recipe right there. I mean, you saw what they done to us. What we averaged 42 points a game last year, and we scored 13 against Bama because that they pressured our quarterback. I mean, it's simple as that.
I think that's why, obviously, Rodney Garner, right? I mean, come on, he's the best in the business. But you look at what he's done, and I feel like I'm just beating a dead horse here, but it's the reality. What he's done since coming back to Tennessee with Joshua Josephs, and the funny thing about James Pierce is he's the guy that had more hype. But last year they talked about how he was learning how to be not only a college football player but also a student, and what it took to go through that daily grind. So if Pierce can be who we think he is and be better than Joshua Josephs, and then you look at, Caleb Herring coming in and Shandavion Bradley, and not to start bleeding too much into recruiting here before we get Coach T out of here, but JP, I put out a video this morning. I don't know if you listened to the Wilt Fong whip around this yesterday. It's insanity. When you look at the defensive line, Jordan Ross, number 2 ranked edge rusher, trending to Tennessee. Dylan Stewart, number 3 edge rusher, a guy that Tennessee has a shot at. Cam Fountain, number 6 edge rusher, a guy that Tennessee has a shot at. And then you look at the defensive line, they have the potential. Williams Nwaneri, best defensive lineman in the country. Edric Houston, number 3. Camarion Franklin, number 6. I'm just running through 247 Sports. They have the possibility to have 4 5-star defensive linemen across the
Yeah.
board in the class of 24. That's a realistic possibility. Very realistic possibility. So like you said, JP, it all starts up front. When the defensive line's getting pressure, all of a sudden your linebackers look all SEC. All of a sudden your secondary looks all
a
SEC.
lot better.
So we're getting sidetracked. Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. We'll get a couple more interesting things from Coach T, and then we'll get him out of here. Cody Branch for 5. Been a member for 2 years now and don't regret it one bit. GBO, Tennessee will be in the playoffs this season due to defense. Thank you, Cody, for the super chat and for the plug to become a member of the channel. Thank you for the support there, Cody. We appreciate it, buddy. Angry Titan for 5. OG of the door fee. Drop them door fees. Thank you, Angry Titan. We appreciate it. Ricky D drops his $5. Doesn't have anything to say. Just a $5 tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that, Ricky D. We got about 200 people watching live right now. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this late night, Saturday night, talking about scrimmage number 1. Some of you guys coming in late saying, who the heck is Coach T? Why is it a purple circle with a T in it? Coach T is a friend of JP's, coaches a little football in the state of Tennessee, high school football coach, had the opportunity to take in the scrimmage today. Look, he's not a YouTuber. He's not a podcaster. So he doesn't have the whole fancy setup. Yes, it may pop. He may cut out. It is what it is. That's what happens. It's just like a fan call-in show. But Coach T was friendly enough to come on and give us what he saw today at that scrimmage. You can't put a price on that, guys. You cannot put a price on somebody that was there and witnessed it versus media putting stuff out versus we're going to play the Josh Heupel press conference, kind of break down his comments. There's a big difference between seeing it with your own eyes and kind of speculation. So, Coach T, before we wrap things up, I told you 5 minutes. We're 32 minutes into this thing. We appreciate your time tonight. Anything else? What else you want to give us before you get out of here?
No, I've pretty much give you guys a rundown. Let me say thanks. Big fan of Talkin VAWLS and what you guys are doing. And I appreciate the opportunity to come on and hang with you guys tonight. You know, I really, for the most part in that scrimmage, I gave you the rundown of what we've seen. And, again, you know, defense is going to win the battle most of the time, the first scrimmage. Can we put our stock in that? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, it's a lot better than the defense going down looking sluggish, the defense not being able to make plays, the defense coming on and saying, well, the defense took a step back. We really haven't talked about the running back group, but I want to say this. Dylan Sampson is a man. He is quick, and some of the plays, his own run scheme that they were playing, the way that he's able to bend it back and find the crease is something that I think is really going to be – we saw glimpses of it, but I think it's going to be special. And 23, you guys will have to help me with the name.
Is that Deshaun Bishop?
Yeah.
I'm stunned of what I'm hearing about him, so I'm excited to hear what you have to say about that.
He looks like Tarzan. His just looking – so VFL Gerald Riggs was down there, and Gerald Riggs was beside of 23, and when I'm telling you guys, there's just a look. You can tell the way someone looks. He didn't get a lot of meaningful reps, but watched him go through drills.
Wait, I feel validated. 23 is Cam Seldon. Now that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Oh, that is Seldon. Okay.
Now I feel validated. But I heard good things about Deshaun Bishop. But Cam Seldon is a monster, and he's got see the chat's catching on now too. He's got that speed too. So Cam Seldon, that makes sense.
It's special, Boogie. Like I said, he looks the part. He's got a little more size than Sampson. He got just a little bit, a little thicker. But his burst is there, the quickness is there, and the balance seems to be there. So really exciting, really exciting.
Well, awesome, buddy. We appreciate you coming on and kind of breaking down what you said. So we appreciate your time tonight. Me and JP going to carry the torch. You got one like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, Coach T. Safeties. Was there anything as far as safeties go? I'm assuming that Tank McCullough was out there with the ones. Anything as far as safeties that you can give us hope for?
No.
Okay.
What a way to wrap it up. We go from positive to negative, JP. Thanks, buddy.
So basically, we just need to get more pressure on the quarterback. Then is that what you're saying, Coach T?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, buddy.
Go Vols.
Later, buddy.
Go Vols.
Thanks for coming on.
All right. See you, buddy.
Way to send us out on a negative note, JP.
Well,
everything positive about the size of Cam Seldon, and some of you guys saying no contact jersey. He was just talking about just his size on the side.
But there was people in the chat earlier that was asking about the safety position, so I just wanted to hit that before Coach T left. But I was afraid that was going to be his answer. What can we do at the safety position? I mean, seriously, what can we do?
I was really hoping that Wesley Walker would be some type of upgrade, or the kid from Ohio State. I don't know if you say it Turrentine or Turrentine. I never know which way to say it. I was hoping he would maybe do a little something. But again, you can improve your secondary with a pass rush. I think at this point that's all you can hope for. And then you look at the guys you got coming in, right? The freshmen, and hope that those guys are going to come along quickly. It's why 23 is such a weird year. It really is, because nobody expected to win 11 games last year. And now here we go into 2023, and it's like, well, you got to continue to progress and get better. I think most of the people in the chat, I think most of us are in agreement. 24 is the year that Tennessee's going to really be dangerous, really be nasty. Talking about the improved speed and the dudes, man, the legitimate dudes. There's a lot of sophomores on this football team. Can they we're talking about the Tyree West, the Joshua Josephs, those guys, Elijah Herring, Caleb Perry. A lot of those guys, man, going into next year, they're going to be upperclassmen. And I think that's when Tennessee really starts to take a step. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm proved wrong. I'm thinking 9 wins is what I'm looking at this year. What about what's your early thought? Like we're not going to have to deep dive it, but.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that 9 wins is a possibility with this team. I mean, there's certainly a lot of things when you sit down and actually look at this offense specifically that you're like, whoa, that we've got to be able to replace or have some guys fill in there. So that's the biggest question mark. Excuse me. Obviously, losing Hooker and the wild card is still going to be the quarterback position. That's the thing with it is can Milton be that consistent QB that makes the plays, makes the right reads, those types of things like that. But I don't think that this offense has to be, well, I'm not going to say I don't think. The expectation should be and the hope should be that this offense doesn't have to score 42 points a game on average to win, even if maybe that they're 5 points on average less. Say that they drop back to 37 points a game average. The hope is what you're talking about, Boogie, with all of this influx of talent on the defensive side of the football, and some guys that have got some more experience, like the Pierces and the Josephs, and bringing in the guys from the transfer portal as far as the linebacker goes from BYU and the defensive back, right? Are both of those from BYU? Help me out, Boogie.
Keenan Peely at linebacker and Gabe Lally at corner.
Yeah, with all that. So, the expectation is there that we should see an improvement on the defensive side of the football. And if we do, then, you wouldn't expect this offense to have to score every single time that they touch the ball. Like, obviously, in some of those games last year, and that's what ultimately led to the loss against the South Carolina game, because we couldn't stop them. So we were having to basically score every single time that we got to football, and that just didn't happen, and that's not going to happen every single football game. And that's why that you've got to have a better defense. And I'm excited about that. I'm not worried about this offense. Obviously, there is concerns with Joe Milton and whether or not that he can be that true signal caller that is going to be able to make those plays. But whether or not that it's him or not, like somebody says there in the chat, history suggests that Josh Heupel is going to score points.
Yeah. Regardless, Wayne for 2. Thank you for the super chat. JP, this is for you.
$1.90, $2. Appreciate it, Wayne. Thank you, sir.
Unbelievable.
I can buy me a Pal's tea now.
I don't know. You may not be able to next month if things keep going the way they are.
May not be able to, Biggie. Yep.
I'm about to start drinking water out of the creek if something don't change here shortly. Let's talk about Joe Milton and Nico, because, again, anybody that's arriving late, I see Brad in the chat saying, I just made it. You guys missed a great opening to the show. We had a high school football coach that was at the scrimmage today. The media was not there, that was not available. They can't have access to the scrimmage. We had a high school coach that was actually inside Neyland Stadium, took in the game, and one of the big talking points was that Joe Milton struggled today. And Nico looked the part today. Now, is that the end of the world? No. Or is it crashing and burning? Do we need to throw away our Joe Milton jerseys that none of us own? No. But this is something we have all been concerned about. We have all been worried that Hendon Hooker off to the NFL, this offense is going to take a step back. Now, the conversation we just had, I'm excited that, maybe the offense does regress a little bit, but maybe the defense steps up enough that you can kind of balance that in this 2023 season. The question for me is, how short's the leash? If Nico is as good as advertised, and I've not heard, and I get it, man, we're all excited. The media is excited. I've not heard one person watch Nico throw in person and say, something's missing here. He doesn't have it. Everybody that watches him play, everybody that watches him throw routes on air, everybody that watches him scrimmage, everybody that watches him in live game reps, everybody that watches him in 7-on-7, everybody falls in love with the kid and says he's a generational talent, one of the best quarterbacks we've ever signed at Tennessee. How short's the leash on Joe Milton before we see a true freshman, Nico Iamaleava, trot out there to play some football for Tennessee?
I mean, I think that leash is pretty long, Boogie. I think that it's going to have to come down to the point that, that it's not looking good for Tennessee to possibly even make a bowl or something like that before that they would bring in Nico with that. That's the thing that, I hope that this fan base realizes is that it's tough week in and week out to be able to compete in the SEC. And there is a lot of experienced talent that Tennessee's got to replace on the offensive side. And, Darnell Wright, I mean, the expectation now is that he's probably going to be a top 15 pick. I wished he'd actually stayed like 16th or 17th so the Commanders could get him, but that's probably not going to happen anyway because they'd probably draft a long snapper in the first round. But that's another story for a whole nother day. But with that, the thing about it is there's a lot of talent. I mean, you've got Hyatt, you've got the other wide receiver, what's his name, Boogie? Help me out. Lord, kill me. Yeah. Lord of mercy, I'm telling you, the older I get.
It's been a minute since you streamed. You got to get it back.
The older I get, the less I remember these guys. But, those types of players like that. And the last time that I was on this show, Boogie, I talked about the loss of the tight end position with Princeton Fant. And I cannot stress it enough. Somebody has got to step up in that tight end position. Somebody has got to be able to block. Somebody has got to. They have got to figure out somebody with that. And that is a very, very huge concern with me because, the tight ends that they got down there, you got Jacob Warren. This is fifth or sixth year, but he's never been that very aggressive and being able to block. And then you got Castles, who's coming in from a lower classification. How physical can they really be? How physical is it going to be overwhelming to McAllen Castles when it comes into SEC play and you're down there against the Georgias and the Floridas and, heck, even the Arkansas, whoever it is, the Vanderbilts? Can they be physical enough to be able to block those linebackers and those linemen to give Milton time. I mean, that's the thing with it. So, I mean, that's why that you play the games, That's why that you ultimately play the games with it. But there is definitely excitement, especially on the defensive side. And again, like I go back to with this, history suggests that Josh Heupel is going to find a way to score points. And if this defense can improve because of all of the influx of talent that we believe that's there, and if they can coach and develop them up, then, I mean, this team could, like I said on that last podcast that I was on, this team could compete for a playoff spot. I mean, there is the possibility there. Whether or not it happens, that's why that we got to play the games.
I mean, and you even rewind to last year, though, right? I mean, it's easy to look back at 2022 and say, number one scoring offense, Jalen Hyatt. You got to replace Jalen Hyatt. You got to replace Hendon Hooker. You got to replace Darnell Wright. There were so many question marks going into last year, and Josh Heupel found a way to get it done. And, yeah, the players make plays. Coaches call plays, and players go out and execute. And Hendon Hooker executed. So did Jalen Hyatt. And you got to give him credit where credit's due. But we're going to ask the same questions going into this year. Who does replace Darnell Wright? And I get the offensive line today is not what it's going to look like going into fall.
No,
it's just not. It's not. No. And, we don't know what this roster is going to look like going into fall because the way the transfer portal is, you're going to have some spots open up. We'll see. But the offensive line is not going to be Crawford, Lane, Nichols, Spraggins, and Mincy. That's something we're talking about. Cooper Mays, man, not having Cooper Mays, that's your anchor.
Huge, yeah,
that's your anchor. That is the heartbeat of that offensive line. Not having him out there today obviously played a factor. I was surprised talking about the tight end position because it sounds like they had a good day today. And McAllen Castles had a couple of catches. I think he was the one that had the touchdown catch, I do believe. Milton threw a touchdown to Jacob Warren as well. Jacob Warren's a guy that I want to see come on with it. And I was glad to hear that he was coming back. I think he's got athleticism. Yeah. McAllen Castles, questioning him is fair. And the chat loves to have a good time and say that I hate McAllen Castles. It's not that I hate him. I'm asking the same thing as you, JP. Why was he at UC Davis? Like, you don't go to UC Davis. And yeah, as soon as he comes here, I put out the video, and then here come all the experts saying, oh, he's an NFL prodigy in the making. And I'm like, hold on a second. Why was he at UC Davis?
Well, but I mean, there's a lot of NFL talent that comes from those lower classifications. Sure. There is guys that for whatever reason, maybe it was a smaller high school that maybe that they were never, recruited or it could be that, once they got to college that they just really developed and stuff like that. So, I'm not as concerned with that, but the part that I'm concerned with is obviously in whatever conference that he played in primarily, it's going to be night and day difference when he steps out on the Neyland Stadium, that first week against Virginia down in Nashville or wherever it's going to be, that's the thing with it. I mean, even that kind of jump, I mean, it's going to be, is he able? Can he actually compete at this level? That's the thing that that's the question mark, and that's why that this spring is so important for him, and that's why that this summer is important for him, and that's why obviously the month of August leading up to that first game. So, but McAllen Castles has to play. I mean, when you look at this. Yeah, I mean, the rest of it's walk-ons. For sure.
I mean, Ethan Davis has huge upside. But even, Chaos there in the chat says McAllen's got to learn to block. So does Ethan Davis. Like, and you're talking about a kid that hasn't had physical contact for his entire senior season of football. But outside of that, he's primarily a receiving wide receiver, like a hybrid type wide receiver. Yep. And Josh Heupel wants to utilize the tight ends in blocking. And so all of the tight ends need to learn how to block as far as I'm concerned. Rolly season for 2. What's wrong with Cooper? I think he was just beat up. I don't think it was anything serious, nothing major. He'll be back. But when it's spring practice, you're gonna be cautious. What are shots fired about? I don't know. I'm trying to understand what's going on in the chat. Always trying to figure you guys out in the chat. We got 185 people watching live. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. JP, are you good to stick around and watch the Heupel press conference? It's 8 minutes and 42 seconds.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to have to excuse myself for just a second, though, if that's okay.
All right. Go on. I'll start it and fire it up. Oh, you're talking to me. Talking to me in the chat. JP has to go tinkle. He'll be right back. Hey, while he's doing that, it'll be a good time to do this. We can do a little plugging and a little shilling. You guys, first and foremost, smash the thumbs up. If you've not smashed that like button yet, why not? What are you doing with your life? It's quick, free, and easy. It helps the channel. You know, if you dig what we do around here, that's the easiest thing you can do is smash that thumbs up. Also, man, thank you to the members of the channel. I say this all the time on the videos. Probably about the time I say it, you guys have already turned off the video. So I'll say it on a live stream while we got 182 people watching. The members of the channel, you guys gave me the confidence to pull the trigger and do this as a career. And I hope you guys see it's spring. We're not even in the fall yet. We're in spring camp. I'm trying to bring you more live streams, whether it's in the morning, extra bonus streams in the evening. Had Austin Price from VolQuest on last Friday. Wanted to do the live stream tonight. You know, I thought about just doing a video talking about the scrimmage today. And I was like, man, I'll yell at JP. And then that led to Coach T coming on. So it gives me an opportunity to spend more time bringing you guys content. So thank you to the members. If you want to support that, hit the join button down below. There is also a comment pinned at the top of the live chat. It's only $1. If you don't have a power T beside your name, why not? Why not? For $1, you can join this channel. You get the custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. Cue the custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. Get them rolling in the chat. Put those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis in the chat, but also the fan call-in shows, man. You get access to those, all kinds of fun perks and benefits, so I would appreciate it. Also, go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Why do you not want this beautiful Vols by Fitty shirt? If not, the Clean State Pride shirt, all kinds of different logos, mustard, elite, all the good stuff is there. Beat Bama, beat Florida, beat Georgia. Let somebody know we're Kentucky's daddy. But again, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link is in the description below. Again, the link to join the channels down there as well. But we would appreciate it. If not, that's fine. Just smash the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy. I've ran enough people off. They're mad because I'm shilling and talking. So we'll get back to it. Now we'll take a listen to here. This was Josh Heupel meeting with the media immediately following the scrimmage today. Let's jump into it here. All right, here we go.
Beautiful day in Knoxville, right? Gorgeous day.
Questions? Just your overall thoughts on what you saw up there today.
I love the energy, really from the entire squad. I thought defensively we're relentless, played with energy, did a really nice job. In particular, the one defense. Thought they had a really good day.
What was good about what you saw from that group?
The ability to get off the field. I thought they tackled well. They were disruptive at the line of scrimmage. Good pressure on the quarterback, and third down defense was really good. They found a way to get off the field. Alignment, assignment, execution, energy from the guys on the field, but also from the sidelines too. That was very noticeable during the course of the scrimmage.
I like hearing him talk about defensive line, getting after the quarterback. I like hearing tackling, and not just tackling. Tackling well in space seemed to be a theme coming out of the scrimmage today as well. But again, Coach Heupel there confirms defense won the scrimmage. Nothing groundbreaking there. Some of this may just kind of double down with what we've already learned from Coach T. But, you know, don't you think, JP, we kind of started to go down this road a little bit earlier. Don't you kind of want your defense to win the first scrimmage of the spring?
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense for sure. You know, I mean, the defense is reacting to the offense, and the offense is the one that's having to obviously be sharp and, you know, make sure that everything is in line and everybody's in sync, and you know, as far as the offensive line goes, you got to make sure that you got your protections down and so forth like that. And of course, you know, from what Coach T said, you know, it appeared that the defense was throwing some things at the offensive line. And like we've already said, you know, that's not the offensive line that we expect to probably be out there first game this fall with that. So I definitely think that the defense would you would expect them to have the advantage that first scrimmage.
And I like that too. You saying the defense was throwing some things at him. That's something that Heupel's made clear. That defense ain't holding back. He told Tim Banks, bring it. Bring everything you got. Ones on ones, good on good. Iron sharpens iron. So I like that they're not playing that vanilla generic defense. Like, bring it, man.
Yeah. Because I mean, I think that Tennessee wants to be an aggressive defense. I mean, we have seen that. The last couple of years that Heupel has been down there. We just really haven't had the players to actually, pull that off on a consistent basis with that. But, with the way that Tennessee scores typically on offense, I mean, all that this defense really needs is 3 to 4 stops a game. I mean, you can get 3 or 4 stops a games, and I'll be the first to admit, I don't care if this defense gives up 30 points a game. If we're averaging 42, I don't care. Because we're going to win a lot of football games with that. We're going to win a lot.
All right, let's hear a little bit more Josh Heupel immediately following the scrimmage earlier today.
Talk about, see some of that happen today.
Great opportunity for every young guy in our program. All the guys, it was their first opportunity to play in here. So your freshmen, 18 guys, the transfers, their first experience in here. It was a great opportunity to learn a lot, and we got to continue to grow with all those guys. I do really like just their energy and effort today. Now, the attention to detail, we got to continue to get better, but that's a really good young group.
What did you like out of Joe and Nico?
Yeah, I thought all in all, Joe did a really good job taking care of the football. I thought he slid in the pocket probably a couple times. They can continue and get out of it. It's a little bit different when the quarterback's not live in some of these situations. All in all, had really good command of what's going on. We got to some situational football at the end, 4-minute situation. There's some things that we can learn just as far as clock management and that. Nico, great first drive, go put it in the end zone. I thought he responded to everything during the course of it. The command and control out on the field, there's some things that he'll learn from. All in all, a really good day for those guys.
What wide receivers stood out and why?
Squirrel White did a really good job today. I thought he did a really good job working in the middle of the football. He executed just from the whistle to the next snap really well, efficiently. Chaz Nimrod did a couple of really nice things. Caleb made some nice plays. Nathan Leacock did a couple of nice things on the back half of the scrimmage. I thought he settled in too. So there's a lot of positives. There's going to be a lot of things that we got to learn from.
Not really surprised that Squirrel White's the wide receiver that he mentions there. And, I'm excited with the kid coming from Oregon, man. Thornton, I really think he's going to be a baller. Brew McCoy's out, so it's good to hear those guys, Nimrod, Laycock, whoever else, Caleb Webb, I think he said there, but no surprise. But, Squirrel's going to be the dude, man. I think he's going to be the Jalen Hyatt. So you got to think, and you've talked about the versatility of Dante Thornton. You got to think he's going to end up on the outside. But, just to go ahead and disagree with myself, I've been saying it for ever since Thornton committed here that he was going to start on the outside. A lot of talk that Ramel Keaton is the wide receiver that's playing better than anybody right now throughout spring camp. Does that surprise you a little bit? I don't care who it is.
No, Biggie. I think the last time that I was on here and we was talking about the preview for the spring, there was a lot of people that was saying, with Thornton and stuff like that. But I don't think that you can dismiss the experience that Keaton has, and Keaton made some key catches last year that certainly helped this football team, and I think that him and Milton have a pretty good rapport together. Where that that he wasn't necessarily running with the ones last year, and he did get more run with Milton with that. So I'm penciling in somewhere Keaton being a huge contributor for this football team this fall.
Do you think they will actually rotate more wide receivers? I don't think they will. I don't
think they will either. Because I mean, it's all about the speed.
But then why are you going and getting Thornton? Like, how did you sell him on coming here I get an opportunity to compete, and that's ultimately what we want is competition. Let the best man win, and who cares? Like, I don't care, but I don't understand how you sold him on coming here, because I don't see him beating out Squirrel White. I don't see how you want to run your offense without Squirrel out there in the slot. Seeing what he did last year when he got an opportunity to play, and then hearing, Heupel, the first name out of his mouth there, Squirrel White. I just don't understand how you sold Thornton to come here.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, it's going to be interesting this fall to see. And as a coach, you have to love it. I mean, you have to love it, because that's going to make either Keaton even better. I mean, he's going to have to step up his game and play to the top of his potential, or it's going to cause Thornton to step up his game. It's going to cause, Brew McCoy to step up his game, because I don't think that they're going to play you just because of they promised you something, because I hope not anyway. I hope that that's not the case. We've seen that time and time again, and that doesn't work. And, I think that they're going to play the three guys that they have the most confidence in, and the ones that they feel like can help them win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just don't see them rotating. That's why I'm like. But hey, as a fan, that's what we want, man. Let who cares?
Well,
win.
That all comes down to how this offense runs, and the huge key to this offense is the running so fast that the defense doesn't have time to react or to sub and so forth like that. And as soon as you start subbing players in and out, then, with the rules, then that just naturally slows it down.
Right.
And that gives that defense that advantage at that point in time. And I don't see Heupel and this offensive staff changing that just because that they feel like that they've got, multiple wide receivers that can perform. So it's up to those individual wide receivers to say, hey, I'm one of the top three receivers.
What were you expecting from your offensive front, particularly in light of the fact that Joey said he lets the defense just kind of do what they want to do? There's no real parameters on the scrimmage. What were you expecting? What you get out of your front?
We're going to play, ones on ones, twos on two, iron sharpens irons. What we do defensively, being multiple, our guys got to be able to execute and adjust during the course of a scrimmage, try to treat it like a game day. All in all, I thought, the line of scrimmage, there were times that we ran the ball extremely efficiently and effectively, created a couple of big plays. I thought, the young running back, Deshaun Bishop, did some really nice things today, pressing the hole, coming out the backside. Dylan Sampson, too. There's a lot of things that we can, get a lot better at, too. Continuing to deliver some of the double teams. I thought our pass protections at times was good. There's some things we also got to clean up.
Does that surprise you? Deshaun Bishop. I mean, his recruitment was so weird. It was, is he going to be a take? Is he not a take? What's the deal? He felt like a fallback option to me. And then Tennessee tried to add guys via the portal, and it just felt like he was the fallback. And then to hear coming out of scrimmage number one, and I know Jabari Small didn't play today, so that's a factor when you've only got really three upperclassmen. Did Jalen Wright play today? Because I did not hear his name mentioned at all. I don't know if he's beat up.
Sure on that, yeah.
The only one I heard that was out was Jabari Small, and then I heard Dylan Sampson looked okay, but then Deshaun Bishop. Again, and I get it. Maybe it's coach speak. Maybe he knows what he's going to go out there and say, but it's kind of like Squirrel. Squirrel's the first name out of his mouth when you ask about wide receiver. You talk about the running game, and Deshaun Bishop, of all names, is the first name that pops out of his mouth.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he wasn't highly recruited. I think he was committed to Coastal Carolina before he ended up, ultimately changing that and committing to Tennessee. I know that there was a lot of local folks within the area, especially the Knoxville area, that had seen Bishop play, over the last four years, that thought that, that he was worthy of a scholarship and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see how that Bishop is. I think help me out here, Boogie. I don't know. Was it his size was the biggest thing that there was a concern about, or was there thinking that it was the speed?
I never really heard, the big thing was everybody talked about his numbers that he put up in high school.
Yeah.
So the argument to that was the competition level. How good is the competition with where he's playing? But then I think really you got to look at the offers. And, David Speaks putting it out there, Coastal Carolina, App State, and Tennessee were the three hats on the table. You got to look at the kid's offers and be like, that's why was he not getting any other SEC offers? That's always something you got to look at when you're talking about recruiting, right?
Yeah.
So Wayne
yeah.
out there, he almost broke Hurd's state rushing record.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but obviously that is the thing that makes you pause with that is the fact that there was no SEC schools that was really after him. So, it was the lower group of five. The Coastal Carolinas, the App States, those types of things like that. So obviously that it wasn't just the Tennessee coaches that were thinking, well, that there's something that's on tape. And, I'm not a football coach, so I can't sit here and say, why that, that he wasn't heavily recruited, but there was obviously things there that with that. But like Wayne is saying right there, there's a lot of kids every single year that for whatever reason that they don't end up highly recruited that end up being superstars. And who's to say that Bishop is not one of those kids that could possibly do that?
For me, my thing too, though, is not just the offers, but the way he was recruited by Tennessee. Going back to, I don't think he was their primary target, but we'll see, man. If he goes out and balls out, I'll be pulling for him as much as anybody, man. If you got that power tee on the side of your helmet, let's go. So we'll see how it plays out.
I don't care if he was a 0-star or not. Just ball out for the power tee. Sounds like me.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said he's always coughing. I think he's had COVID since he's been at Tennessee. As JP's coughing with him.
Yeah, we don't ever want to miss Coop. That's a guy in the middle that's played a lot of football and a great leader for us, too, inside of our program. At the same time, Addison, Bison, those guys got to continue to grow and step up. There's been some really positive things from them in the first 7 days. Excited to go back and watch the tape. We're going to need those two guys to really grow here on the back half of spring ball.
It's a new look linebacker room outside of Beasley. Just what you see from those guys today?
They're relentless. They play with energy and passion. We've done a good job of tackling in some of the small space, but also in the open field. That group's got a lot of leadership traits. I like how the young guys have grown and kind of fit into the culture. Got to have them continue to grow here as we go through spring ball, but excited about that group.
Josh, you've done this as a player, coordinator, head coach. Is the defense supposed to be ahead? Are they ahead?
I wouldn't say that. I would not say that. You've got to come out here and continue to compete and grow. Offensive football is 11 guys playing as one. Defense is 2. You got to play with great effort. There's a lot of things that we got to clean up on both sides of it. All in all, really excited about the way the defense played today.
Who's brought pressure on defense in the front seven that you like to see?
There's been times where all of them have. We have great competition on the edges. That's at defensive end. Tyler Barron, Tyree West on the edges. With our Leos from Roman to Josh to James to Caleb, we got great competition there. We can do some unique things with our front. I like how our interiors play. I feel like we're playing with better pad level. We're using our hands better. We're coming off the ball. So excited about the growth and looking forward to the back half of spring.
What would you like to coaches have talked about shoring up the pass defense? What you see out of really all 3 levels?
Yeah, pass defense is all 3 levels too, and I think it's important that everybody in our program, but on the outside, understands that a little bit too. We're deeper in the secondary.
As long as we stay healthier, we got a chance for these guys to grow fundamentally, technique, and then scheme understanding, which can help us make us a lot better as we get to the fall. There's real competition there, which forces these guys to compete every day on the field, in the meeting room, and everything that they're doing. Our second level, I feel like, has gotten better, dropping in coverage when we're our zone principles, playing off the quarterback's eyes, making plays in the middle of the field. And then you got to be able to rush and affect the quarterback. You got to be able to have rush integrity, keep your lane assignment, I guess, not let the quarterback get up or escape out of it. We got to continue to grow in those areas for us to take another step on the defensive side of the ball.
He said a whole lot right there, but it's kind of what we were talking about earlier, because the secondary, can they take that step? Can they get better? It starts up front, but also, he brought up a good point about the linebackers being better in pass coverage. And that's something that is as good as Jeremy Banks was in the run. He struggled, man. He struggled. And I'm curious. It's not like I've watched a whole lot of Keenan Peely film. I like his leadership. I like, what little bit I have seen of him. I wonder how much better, and I'd say you're probably in the same boat as me. I wonder how much better he is in pass coverage than Jeremy Banks was.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a good question because obviously he came from BYU, they play in the Mountain West Conference. Is that even a conference still? Where they've had so many changes with conferences and stuff. But obviously, I guess the point that I'm getting to is that it's not week in and week out that he's played against the SEC top speed that he's going to see this fall. So, how is his game going to be able to actually, how is that going to be against that type of speed, that type of quickness with that? And I don't think that we'll obviously know until, once the season starts with that. But obviously, like you said there, Boogie, the fact that this is a guy that's got a lot of experience, seems to be a really good leader. So, that's going to help certainly there with that.
Yeah, and then moving to the secondary, man, just somebody step up. Somebody's got to step up. And I think it helps that everybody's healthy. That's something that I've talked about a lot. But you got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right. You got to talk about it. And he kind of mentioned it there when he says, stay healthy, get through spring, and then we're going to be better for it when we get to fall. And it's like last year they were just so beat up in the secondary. And then they've added some nice pieces. Can somebody push? And I like the addition of Gabe Judy-Lolly. I wish Kamal Haddon would get his head on straight. I think he has probably more athleticism than anybody else back there. And then whatever happened to Brandon
kid has
Turnage,
got to figure out his head. I mean, that guy's got to get his head on straight. Yeah. And I think so with Turnage.
I think Slaughter can be a good corner too. But again, we're talking about a bunch of guys that nobody's really jumping out of that group. So we'll see. Justin Sanday for $5. Appreciate the super chat. We're an hour and 12 minutes into this thing. Thank you guys for sticking it out, hanging out with us. Got a couple of more minutes here on Heupel's press conference, but thank you, Justin, for the super chat. We appreciate the tip in the tip jar, my man.
Any turnovers today from your defense?
We did. All in all, I thought they were physical.
What did he say?
I thought they ran to the football. All in all, we did.
Did you get any turnovers today from your defense?
We did.
Did he say we didn't or we did?
I thought he said we didn't. But
we did.
Yeah, I think he said we didn't. Because, and that's something, too, he talked about earlier with Joe and Nico. He said they protected the football. So, sounds to me like, maybe they didn't turn it over, which is good. But at the same time, that defense, man, you want them out there forcing turnovers for what Tim Banks wants to do.
All in all, I thought they were physical. I thought they ran to the football. And in all, third down, they got themselves off the field.
I know a lot of did that maintain today in scrimmage?
We'll go back and watch the tape. He certainly was playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage today at times. His color flash, for sure. When he's there, you don't miss him. It's by pure size. And he's had a really good first half of spring ball. Excited about his growth, his development, him controlling his mind, how he's going to pursue and play every single rep. Excited again to see his consistency here on the back half of spring ball.
What would you like to see Nico build on from today and kind of take with him these next couple of weeks?
Nico did a lot of really good things. Having his eyes in the right place, being able to make decisive reads, move in the pocket, push the football down the field, be accurate in the middle of the field. I thought for his first time being inside the stadium, did a really nice job of controlling everything that happens when you're playing within the tempo of how we play. I didn't think he played outside of himself. He never was in a hurry. So a lot of really positive things.
How efficient was the tempo in terms of getting the play in, getting it run? How efficient was that?
All relatively pretty efficient with the ones and the twos. Guys that have experience in it. Our threes at times could have been a little bit better just in our mechanics after the whistle. But for their first time being in it, I actually thought, all in all, they did a really nice job.
Just did you guys kick today? Did you do kicking situations today?
We did some punt cover, just the back half of the play, and a little bit of punt, and obviously field goal situations.
What do you think those guys are from a specialist standpoint? What do you think you are?
I like the group as a whole. They compete hard with each other, but they're really positive. They push each other. The field goal kicking spot, obviously competition there. Looking forward to see how that continues to play out. The back half of spring ball, but also as we get into training camp.
Talk about those young guys on defense. Who specifically kind of stood out for you?
And I rattled off a bunch of them earlier. I don't want to leave anybody out. The secondary, the second level, but also the first level guys on the edge in particular. I think they played with great energy. They were relentless. They pursued the ball. They were physical at the point of contact. Really good day.
All right, that's it for Coach. Oh, let me go back to that. For Coach Heupel's post-scrimmage press conference. Look, we got some content coming your way. Next week, they get back on the practice field on Monday. They're going to scrimmage on Thursday. Maybe we'll put together another live stream. We'll figure something out. We'll let you guys know. Trying to bring you as much content as possible. Early tomorrow morning, film breakdown with Coach Jay will be going up. Boo Carter, in-state athlete, trending to Tennessee. Chad Simmons put in the prediction that Boo Carter will be a Vol. Coach Jay breaks down 3 different positions. We break down the running back, wide receiver, and safety. Where would Boo Carter best or most benefit Tennessee? That's going to be uploaded early in the morning, so make sure you come check that out. I'll be live tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll play some NCAA football. We'll continue this conversation talking about the scrimmage, what you guys are excited about. But we're going to wrap this thing up. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. JP, it's always a blast, buddy. Appreciate you jumping on and getting Coach T to jump on here with us. If you showed up late, guys, go back and watch the first 30 minutes. Coach T did a good job giving us what he saw at the scrimmage today. So appreciate him taking the time to do that. But that's going to do it for this one. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. He's Vols JP. My name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin Vols Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call home.